Yeah, we've been here about 6 months. I've done all the work myself. I've worked in all the rooms except the kitchen here. Took out both bathrooms down to the studs.
You are a maniac.
I don't know about that. But the first floor is where we needed the first floor bathroom.
All right, so this is all new walls and tile floors in this bathroom?
Yeah, everything's new. The walls, the ceilings, the floors. The floor was a job in itself to take out. It was about that much. I don't know, cement, I guess.
Oh, they called that a mud job, and that was the best job you could get in the old days. They used to put 1.5 to 2 inches of this dry cement as a base for the tile. Yeah. It was hard to do.
It was even harder to get out. It was tough.
All right, let me guess that the toilet now rocks?
It's rocking, that's why I put these shims in.
All right, well, I see you put some shims. Well, let me explain what's going on. This is called a cast iron closet flange that the toilet attaches to. This is installed at the height of the old floor. You built this floor up, but didn't come up high enough to be at the height of the old floor, so it sits too high, now the toilet rocks. We also have to think about replacing this flange for another reason. It's broken. It should look like this on this side, and it's broken off on this side. And that's how you secure the toilet, so you make a nice tight seal. So we have no other choice but to break this flange away, and we've got to be very, very careful. And we've got to do it without breaking this inner pipe, the closet bend, because if we do that, it's a big deal. All right, the closet flange is made out of cast iron. But we can actually break it because it's brittle by using this. It's called a cold chisel. It has a sharp point right here. And I want to be careful to just break this and not the pipe itself. Come on, baby. All right, it's loose. And now I'm going to try to pry it up using a flat bar. I'm going to protect the floor using an old shim. Let's see if it'll come up. There it comes. That helped it. Here we go. There we go. Good. I'm glad that didn't break. Okay, let's just review what we've got. We've exposed this pipe. It's actually called a closet bend because this pipe turns 90 degrees and bends into the wall where our main stack pipe is. And here's a closet flange. And the original connection for this would have been using an oiled hemp called oakum. The plumber would have taken the oakum and packed it down into the space between the bend and the flange. And once that was all packed in there, you then take hot lead and pour it down in to make a nice tight joint. You can actually see from our original flange, here's the oakum, and actually here's a piece of that lead right there. But we actually don't have to use lead nowadays. There's another way to make that connection. This is actually a compression flange. So instead of lead, we're going to be using a rubber gasket. And that'll make a nice tight seal between the bend and the flange. But before we go any farther, we've got to be sure we get this flange all the way down to that floor or the toilet's going to rock. To do that, we set it in place, just see where we're hitting the tile, make our mark, and we can chisel it away. Okay. Let me just grab safety glasses. Okay, that's okay. We're still covered by the toilet, so that's fine. Let me just nibble this one too. Okay, that should be enough. Let's see how we did. Ooh, nice. We are right down tight right there, so that means that toilet is not going to wobble. All right, we can now make our connection. So there's a rubber gasket with the taper going down. We put that in first. Now there's a brass ring that's going to allow 4 stainless steel bolts to push that down. I'm just going to tap that down. Okay, so that seems down enough. And now we have 4 stainless steel bolts. Trying to get them caught without crossing the thread. All right, now we just tighten them up with a socket wrench. I'm just doing each bolt a little bit at a time so I drive that rubber gasket down evenly. Okay, so now we have a nice tight seal between the flange and the bend, and the flange is right down tight to the floor, so that's good. Now we need to make a connection between the flange and the toilet. For that, we use this. It's called a closet bolt. It has an oval shaped at the base, and that goes into a keyway right here. Okay, and that, we hold that right to the center point right there. Another one on the opposing side. And now we need to make a seal with this wax ring that's going to connect to the bottom of the toilet, and that keeps any sewer gases from coming into the building, and also keeps any water from leaking from the base of the toilet. Once I set this in place, Peter, it's time for you to grab the toilet.
All right, great. I'll get it.
Okay, just lift with your knees. Careful. Keep your back straight. Set it down the drop button. I'll grab it from you. Thank you. Okay, now I want to line up those bolts, hopefully to go right into. There's one. Oh, very good. Now a little bit of weight will make that wax seal tight. And now there's a batting order for the final connections to the closet bolt. The first is a white plastic base, flat side up. It's usually marked. Then there's a washer. Then there's a nut. And finally there's a bolt cap that covers the whole bit. Okay, now we tighten it up with a socket wrench. Okay, that should do it, I think. Now, these brass bolts are left long. And because of that, the caps won't fit on unless you cut them off. So for that, we use a mini hacksaw. And brass is a soft metal, so it cuts pretty easily. Okay, now the cap goes on. Good, now we do the other side. Okay, snug up the water connection, and now it's time to fill and test. All right, Peter, put the tank lid in, and now it is time for our wiggle test.
No wiggle at all. That's
what do you
awesome.
think?
Thank you.